I'm Dave Carns, 9 Atkinson Court. I also have a tree farm in Medford on north of Route 70. So I had a couple questions about the farm stands. I actually had an opportunity to watch the July 21st meeting that you guys held here. And I watched you, Mayor Watson, talk about the farm stands, pass an ordinance where you can bring in, I think you said 75, or is it 75% you bring in, or 75%'s got to be grown?
That was a suggestion I made. That's not necessarily what the ordinance was, but the ordinance is made up of all of us, not just me. So
okay,
there were some comments that I made that didn't necessarily get into the ordinance, just like.
Okay, so the ordinance that's introduced, or it's going to be introduced, what is that? 100% has to be grown at the property? I'm trying to understand the other farm stands are operating. Are they going to be in violation? Or are they going? Is it going to? They're able to bring stuff in.
Well, all of them were in violation until we passed the ordinance because they weren't permitted in Medford forever. I mean, okay. They may have existed, but they weren't permitted. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Prime, but the ordinance that we passed last week called for 100% of the product to be grown on the farm.
That is correct.
And
okay.
The ordinance is adopted.
So then they're not able to sell stuff that they don't bring in then?
They're not able to sell stuff that they don't grow.
Okay. All right. And then I guess, so during that video I was watching, you were talking about firewood being a separate discussion. And I guess, you know, I have a lot of people that are asking me what is the problem with bringing firewood in? So I guess what is your issue with, say, farms bringing some wood in to sell? Because if you look at it like this, you pass a tree ordinance, we cut some trees down, get a permit to cut some trees down, we had to take those trees and then throw them out, come back to the farm, cut healthy trees down, and sell them. And that's how we'd be in compliance in this town. And that just seems ridiculous. You know, don't you agree? If you follow the law, that's what we're being asked to do then, is to basically, any trees that we take down, even if it's at our neighbor's property, we cannot bring that on our property. We have to throw that out. We cannot sell that. Because if we do, then we're in violation with zoning.
That's been the ordinance forever around here.
Right, but we've been selling firewood for like 40 or 50 years. My dad sold firewood there.
Right, they harvested off the property, correct?
No. My dad owned a tree service there, and the township was well aware of the tree service there. We would go back to the 60s selling firewood there. None of the other administrations cared. They were aware of it. I could prove that other administrations knew that there was wood.
Let me just correct something. The administration didn't come out and say the Carns are selling firewood thing. There was a complaint, my understanding, the zoning officer can correct me if I'm wrong.
About a trailer.
There was a complaint that you were selling wood that was not. Sir, you're not going to come up and interrupt.
I'm going to stand here and wait for you to come up with your crappy answer to my brother because you guys are all full of crap. So what are you going to do?
So let me explain something. The original complaint that came in.
You're a tyrant, Mayor. You really are.
The original complaint that came in was about a trailer. I saw the complaint, and actually I was at the table with you. With Beth, we brought the complaint out. It was about a trailer that was in plain view. There was never a mention about wood. Then a second neighbor, a competitor who sells firewood, they made a second complaint a year later about wood. So the original complaint was only about a trailer. I have the complaint. It was about a trailer and some noise. It was not about firewood. That's not true. We have the complaint. We talked to the neighbor. I mean, they came to the meetings to support us. So that's not the case. That's not the truth. So once that complaint came in about the trailer, then it was about 6 or 7 different violations that was, you know, the zoning officer called the state on us for a pile of wood chips. And the state came out and they were like, we don't have a problem with that. But again, instead of zoning contacting us, she called the state on us, you know, gave us basically 3 or 4 different violations. We've never had contact with zoning before that. We had no idea even how to react to it. So these zoning letters, when they come out, they're very threatening. And that was something else I wanted to talk about with you guys, is that the interaction with the community here and zoning. I speak to a lot of residents. I work in this town almost every single day. And I can tell you, the people that do have contact with zoning, it's a lot of times it's negative. It's a very powerful letter with the Medford Township letterhead. People are up at night. They're worried. Oh my gosh, what did I do? It's like you're a criminal when you get this letter in the mail. And what I'm saying is maybe there's a different approach with zoning. Maybe zoning can make a phone call or send a letter out and say, hey, we need to talk about something here. Instead of it being so threatening where it's cease and desist, fines. I mean, I'm not making this up. Remember the lady on Main Street with the little sign on the doors? It was a threatening letter. It scared her. She was smart. She went to social media, and you guys ended up dropping the neon sign or whatever ended up happening. But those letters go out all the time. And I know that's probably the norm for most townships and stuff like that. But it does scare people when these letters come out. And it scared us. We were like, holy moly. We never received a letter. Going way back to even my grandfather. We never had any interaction with zoning. So the first letter we get is, we contacted the state for wood chips. You're running a commercial operation out of there. You're selling wood that you're bringing in, and we never said where our wood was coming from. There was no video, and you're not doing DNA testing on wood. So again, we don't. It was a very threatening letter, and that's why I'm up here. That's why I'm upset, because when I hear you on the 21st meeting talking about, and I understand now the ordinance didn't go through, it's 100%, but you're weighing saying, hey, we know farms bring stuff in. You talked about Rosie's. We know Rosie's brought stuff in. You said that. You didn't shut them down, right? Even though you said you knew that they bring stuff in. You didn't shut them down. But for us, we were forced to shut down. So that's why I'm here tonight. All right?
Thank you for comments. Just to understand, we didn't shut you down. We passed legislation. The staff is in charge of enforcing it. I can't tell the zoning officer, ignore this, change that, do that. It's against the law.
But when I came to you, you said this. You said, if we do this for you, we have to do this for everyone. That's what you said at the meeting.
Mayor, we're over 5 minutes. There's now a debate going on.
Well, I'm happy that he's at least talking back, because these things can get resolved. I mean,
I'd be happy to talk. I'd be happy to sit down and have a cup of coffee with him.
Okay.
Can I give him my 5 minutes?
Can my brother give me
Just
this?
give him the 5 minutes. I'm not taking up
You
my
can't
whole
give him
call.
your 5
Give
minutes.
my brother the 5 minutes. You guys need to hear this. Just do it, and we'll leave.
I'm sorry, 5 minutes is up.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for
I'd be
listening.
glad to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you.
We tried that at one point with you guys.
Would you like to speak?
It's very hard for me to stand here and listen to you talk to my brother, okay? Because I was the one, Mayor, that emailed you originally and said, please help us out. And you came back and said, like he had said before, okay, everybody's going to be treated the same, and if we do this for the farm, we got to do this for others. It's very confusing for us because we had never been through that before. What had actually happened was we had been selling wood there at our farm for 30, 40 years, Mayor. And Kathy, I actually blame you for a lot of this, because you're chiming in when my brother's talking to him, and you're actually trying to correct him. Why correct the mayor? He either knows where he stands or he doesn't. So you're like saying he's out of time, like something's going to come up. It's literally very unfair what happened to our farm. Do you guys do understand? We don't even want to sell wood at this point. We're not even in a position to sell wood. But for what you guys came in and used the township's power to hammer our farm into the ground is so unfair. We both bought houses off the land. We don't want to build there. We don't want to develop. We want to keep everything open. And you would think the township would be a little bit more open-minded about a farm instead of saying, a neighbor called. Our neighbor that did complain has showed up to 4 meetings, written 3 letters, and tracked Beth down. He's done it all to try to correct what has happened from a stupid call saying a trailer out back. His wife didn't like the trailer. You guys know I was cutting their field for years. The neighbor that complained. How unfair this actually happened. And then so Beth comes in and says, you guys either can keep selling wood with a use variance, or you got to stop. Now, we had no idea. Sounds like deja vu. My brother talked about a use variance. What he didn't really get into is that you guys have shut down every stand in Medford. Now you're picking a spot on Taunton Boulevard that you like. I'm sure she's friends with you, or somebody up here. There's no way that lady with the stand isn't friends with somebody up here, because you guys shut down the stand on Skeet Road. They had a big farm. You shut down our stand. You shut down stands on Stokes Road, and now you're opening a stand on Taunton Boulevard. Right?
No.
You didn't shut down a bunch of stands in Medford, Mayor?
No, we did not.
Then what? What happened? The last 50 administrations got it all wrong, and you come into office and you really have it all figured out? These stands were here before you came in.
We didn't shut those stands down.
Mayor, I was selling wood way before you came into office. So how do you come into office and tell me I can't sell wood?
I don't.
You did. You're in the text messages with Beth. You're in it. All the emails. You, Kathy, you, Mayor, and Beth. Anybody wants to fact check it, we can fact check it. Please, guys. I complained to you. I asked for mercy. You did nothing. Your friend, George, or Taylor Design, hammered us. Charged us so much crazy money. Where is he? He's not here tonight. Good for him. I gotta tell you, him and his wife, that's robbery, what happened to our farm. And I hope somebody comes in and fact checks it. That's it. You could have gave my brother 5 minutes. He would have sounded a lot better than I do. We're rough around the edges, but our farm's not going to take this crap. And next time you guys come out with one of your stupid letters to my farm, believe me, it's not going to go over so smooth. That's it, guys, right? The rest of the council, I'm so sorry. You're seeing the worst side of me ever. Well, that depends on you. That's all, guys. Mayor, stop harassing us. That's it. That's all it boils down to. Time up?
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.